How's everyone doing? Brett, I just forwarded you the recording from yesterday too, so you should have just gotten that a little bit ago.
I just saw that. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. How are you, Abby? Have you been getting the recordings okay too?
I'm good. Yeah, I have. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Perfect. And do you need the Ignite material, Abby? You
I
haven't gone a binder yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Let me share that with you.
Thank you.
Once you get your KW email to let me know what it is, and I'll start using that one. But for now, I'm still just using your personal one.
Okay.
We'll give people like one more minute to get on, and then we'll do like our accountability check-in. See if anyone else getting on needs it before I hit send. Skylar, did you get to go in and get your binder yet or no? Yeah, you did. Okay, cool. And then Brett, you have a binder, right? Or an Ignite book. They're not really binders anymore.
Oh yeah, I have an Excite book,
Good.
if that's
Perfect.
what you
Okay.
mean.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, let's start with our accountability check-in. Skylar, you want to get us started?
What do you want to hear?
How has contacts been going? Have you been started making contacts?
I've just been doing my social media, reaching out.
Right.
I think I need to kind of restructure my business plan because my third pillar is kind of soft.
Ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna do door knocking. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I love it. It's a good one. Brett, how about you? How's everything going?
Great. I started the 66-day challenge. I added a smart plan. I reached out and touched my 5 contacts, 2 by email and 3 by snail mail.
Good.
And then I've started. Well, I'll be sending out 100 golden letters starting next week. I
Perfect.
just got through. I'm still in the process of printing envelopes and the letters.
Good. Okay, that was gonna be my next question, is if you were on track for that already. Good job. And then Abby, yeah, this is what we kind of do in the beginning. Have you started letting people know you started your real estate career?
Like people in my life, but I do
Yeah,
want to set up my social media and post more this year, but
good.
I haven't quite yet. That's in my plans though.
Perfect. Awesome. Good job. And you probably still need to do an open house shadow, right? Do you want me to get that coordinated for you?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Let me know if you have any scheduling restrictions for the next weekend or two, and then I'll start reaching out and seeing who would be a good match.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I would also like an open house shadow if
Okay,
possible.
perfect. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you did one yet or not. Okay, let me make a note so I don't forget. Um, and Abby. Khadijah, welcome on. How's everything going? How's your contacts and whatnot?
Hi, hello. I wanted to get a little clarification on the contacts thing. Is
Yes.
it just, does it have to be real estate related, or are you just talking about any contact? I talk to 10 people a day.
Talk to 10 people a day. If they don't know that you're in real estate or that you maybe just made a change to KW, then it would be a good opportunity to make sure you're like bringing that again top of mind. Kind of goes back to that daughter conversation, right? Like if we never bring it up, then that's when they forget. But it doesn't always need to be 100% real estate all the
Okay,
time. And sometimes an easy way to like sneak it in there in a real natural way is like if you're asking someone else, like, how's work been? How's your job been? Like they'll naturally be like, how about you? And then that kind of gives you an
okay,
opportunity to sneak it in there without making it like sales pitchy.
yeah, okay. So yes, I did talk to people yesterday, and I actually set a tea date with one of my friends
Love it.
who has expressed wanting to buy a house. So we're going to meet Saturday for tea.
Good job. Okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna turn on the little sound. So if someone comes in late, Kate will hear it. Um, and then did we post the Ignite flyers today? Nope. Okay. Um, so I'm not gonna be reading from the sheet because it's not up there, Kate. Follow up. But luckily I know her well enough to kind of just fly by the seat of my pants with her little bio. So Kate has been with our Keller Williams family in various leadership capacity for about 7 years now, and is located in the Eugene Springfield office. She is our current team leader or CEO, kind of KW terms. And so she focuses on building the growth for the company and our agents and coaching and pouring into our top agents. So you guys are in really great hands to kind of go through this next phase of the Ignite class with Embrace Your Job. She will be like kind of following the content along, but make sure you're engaging, asking any questions that you have, and soaking up all of the information. Historically, she doesn't typically go the full 2 hours, so you'll probably get in a little bit early, which will give you more lead generation time in your schedule. So with that, I will let her take it away.
Thanks, Mara.
Thanks.
It'll ding dong if someone pops in. Okay. Hi, guys. I know where Khadijah is located, but I'd love to know what market center you're affiliated with. So who's here wants to start? Portland, Medford, Salem.
Salem.
Salem. You too, Brett? Are you Salem?
No, Medford.
Medford. Okay, and Abby?
I'm in Roseburg.
Perfect. I love that. Okay, so no one's super north. We're Salem down today. Awesome. I am gonna share my screen. I love if you guys interact, especially in this one. So I'm not just talking at you. Feel free to unmute. Hard for me to read comments while I'm sharing my screen, but unmute, interrupt, all the things. It's a small group, so it'll be super easy. And when Mara said that we won't go the full 2 hours, she is correct. I teach this class every Ignite for the last 3 sessions of Ignite, and I usually end at about an hour. So then you guys will have time to either do social media stuff or lead gen, any of that. All right, let me see if I can share my screen and if it's going to be nice to me. We are going to share this to share and turn it into a slideshow. 1 second, guys. Where's that play button? There it is. Okay, can you just see the slide or are you seeing other things? You seeing notes or just slides?
Then slide, the next slide, and the notes.
Okay, so that is the wrong one. Wait 1 second. Let's exit out. They tried to tell me how to do this, and I'm like, I don't think that's the way it's gonna work, but we're gonna try again. And someone's here. So you guys will all know not to come to me for your tech questions because this is not my strong suit here. Okay, can you see it now? Anything? Let's see. Share one, share, and slide.
That's a lot of stuff.
A lot of things. I know, I see it too.
There
Is
you go.
that just
Yep.
is that just the slide?
Yep.
Yay! Okay, we made it. All right. Okay, and I cannot see all of you, so now I can. So just know to unmute if need be. All right. So you guys have done in session 1, and Mara got all of your check-ins taken care of. For those that are new, I'm Kate. I'm the team leader of Keller Williams Eugene Springfield and have been here in this market center for 7 years in various leadership roles. Let's get this party started. So today we are going to learn how to apply the 6 core competencies of a business. Recognize your role as a fiduciary for your clients, and then we're going to review the success systems. So kind of just start thinking about what you want to learn today. If you hear those 3 subjects, what questions you may have, and at the end, we'll have time for questions that I can really dive deeper and answer for you, but they'll probably be answered as we go through these slides. Okay, I want to know if everyone will tell me, what part of being a real estate agent like really excites you to your core?
I would say like just being able to work for myself and all the connections that you make.
Love that.
Yeah, really, it's about community connections and also making money.
Yeah. Perfect.
I agree. Community connections, connecting with people, working for myself, and yeah, hopefully making a lot of money. The freedom is what excites me about it.
Perfect.
Same. The freedom and yeah, the no cap on success as long as you want to work hard, you know. So
Yep, it'll show up if you work for it, that's for sure.
For me too, I think it's working for yourself and also understand more about the real estate industry. So I think real estate is huge. You can be any part of the puzzle, but I think that you make money. Yeah.
Make money. Perfect. Okay, so having a career in real estate, because those were all fabulous answers. It can be extremely rewarding, and being an agent gives you the opportunity to support someone in making one of the most important and biggest decisions of their lives. So building relationships with others and just getting to live a big life yourself. Behind the big results of a successful real estate career are daily activities and habits. These steps are small, but they all lead back to that big life that you have imagined. Let's talk about day-to-day activities of all successful real estate agents, otherwise known as the 6 core competencies of business. And this idea comes from Gary Keller, his book, Shift. So the 6 core competencies of a business are priorities you must focus on as you run and grow your business. So incorporating these in your business activities can lead to a lot of success as an agent. And then as you grow in the business and your pipeline grows, you implement more of these the higher you go in your career. Okay, now we're not switching slides. Okay. So with that being said, welcome to your new job and one of the most, in my opinion, best industries in the world to be a part of. Your sales career. So you are an independent business person, and it's important to understand the components of this job. So essentially, you're it. Surprise! There's an appropriate saying that if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I use that with my children a lot, and it is very true in this business. It's up to you. Although you do have a lot of leverage here in training at KW. Number one, let's go over the 6 core competencies. Lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments. Present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. Show buyers and market sellers. Write and negotiate contracts. Coordinate and sell to closing. So coordinate the sale to closing, get them all the way there, and then manage your money, which a lot of people forget that last piece, but we will go into it deep. Now that we've reviewed the overall path of Ignite, and you can see that we'll cover each of these competencies. We build on each one as we go, and running a successful business does involve engagement of all 6 of these activities. So all 6 are important. The first core competency is your first priority. After all, if you have no leads, there is no business. You must have leads to sustain a thriving business, which is what you signed up for. So we're going to break it down. You will learn, and it will be repeated over and over and over, that the number one job is lead generation. It's the daily practice of talking to people about buying and selling real estate. Capturing is about obtaining accurate contact information. So name, phone number, email, address, and other data a person is willing to divulge. You want to capture also the means of adding these new people to your business database, so your CRM. You really want to make sure they're all logged with as much information you have, correct information in your CRM. It also makes it a great touch point, at least once a year, to reach out to these people and say, has there been any changes? Do you have a new number? So it's makes a good touch to do once a year, just to make sure your CRM is cleaned up. And most agents focus on CRM cleanup in around November, December, getting ready for the new year when things are a little bit slower. So another important component of lead generation and capture is that you ask permission to stay in contact with each person. And you'll learn more about the importance of that step as you explore lead generation later on in Ignite. So this is going to be kind of your 30,000-foot view, and there will be individual Ignite classes on each of these that will dive deeper. And then finally, you're going to convert to appointment. Capturing leads is amazing. However, the ultimate goal is to find active buyers and sellers and set an appointment to meet and agree to work together in the buying and selling of real estate. So you want to get those leads to an appointment. Remember, we're learning and building on each new skill as we advance through this entire course. And this is why I'm sure Mara has said it's important to either get the recording of the classes you miss or try and make as many you can in person. Okay, the number 2 is present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. So the second core competency is to present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. And this core competency is about your skill during the appointment with the buyer or seller. So presenting to buyers means going through the buyer consultation document, which outlines the entire buying process and all the steps that you're going to take to assist them in the process. And you'll also address any questions or concerns that they have at that time. Presenting to the seller is similar. You're going to go through your entire listing presentation document with them, which is going to outline the entire selling process, including the marketing you'll provide along with all of the steps to take that you're going to give them, so your value, while listing their home. The expected outcome of both of these presentations is that your client, whether a buyer or seller, will sign an exclusive agreement to work with you. And you're going to learn all you need to know how to successfully present that and obtain a signed agreement later on in the course. So they will dive deep on those exclusive agreements for your buyers and your sellers. Number 3, show buyers and market sellers. So the third competency is about showing buyers and marketing listings for your sellers. Showing buyers is all about understanding the needs of the buyer and selecting the specific houses for them to experience with you. And when you're marketing to sellers, that translates to marketing their house in the best possible light and via the most channels to ensure that as many potential buyers as possible can see it, it's visible, that could possibly be interested in it. And that is also going to be covered in more detail as we move through. Do we have any questions so far? Are we good? We're rolling? Okay. All right, number 4, write and negotiate contracts. So the fourth competency is writing and negotiating contracts. And this is a big responsibility and one that many new agents are heavily concerned about. They get a little bit anxious about completing their first contract. And negotiating is another competency that requires practice. It requires calm. And it really requires a win-win mindset. So if all parties are winning, it's a win-win. We want everyone on all sides to win, and that is how we go about the KW way out into the industry to help your clients, and it helps to make friends with the agent on the other side. So you always want to look at it as a win-win. What is the saying? You catch more flies with honey? I think something like that. Keep that in your head. Number 5 is about getting the deal all the way to closing. So where the buyer gets the new keys, this is the best part of being an agent. When you get to hand them their keys to their home, or the seller releases the home to the buyers and you get paid. You do want to keep in mind that not all deals make it to the close. And this can happen for just a variety of reasons. And it does take skill. And that is why it is number 5 of the 6 core competencies. So getting it to the end, and you do have a lot of leverage here at this brokerage with our principal brokers. I've heard Tammy Sue saving deals before. So you have a lot of help here to make sure that just reach out if you need it, but you get them to the close. And then number 6, which a lot of agents forget, is managing the money that you make. So you've already learned from day 1 that the paycheck you get upon closing, don't go out and spend it all in one place. There's going to be expenses to pay, and the government likes to collect their taxes on it. So make sure to put that piece away so you can pay it every quarter. There is a great Keller Williams University course that you can take. It's called Profitability. It's agent financials. It's usually offered around once a year. Sometimes it's via Zoom, so you can keep that in mind to take. Just really narrows down where you should be putting your money and what you can expense. And then I also know that next week we're going to have Real Accounting coming. We are going to live Zoom it down south, so Roseburg and Medford can see our Zoom, but they're 2 accounting guys. They've written the blueprint to financial freedom for real estate agents, and I've seen them speak once. They are brilliant on what you can write off and how you can write off things, so highly suggest you tune in. I think they're coming to Salem either this week or the beginning of next, Skylar. So keep an eye out for that. They're really fun to watch too. You would look at them and never think they're tax guys. So
Do you know
it's a good
when it's
class.
going to happen or when we can expect to see the Zoom meeting come through?
Yeah, if you are with Eugene or Roseburg or Medford, it is on the 20th, so Tuesday at 12. And I can make a note to send you guys the Zoom link. And
What did
I'm
you say it was
sure
called?
it's called the 3 Radical Ways to Reduce Taxes with Real Accounting. And I don't know when Salem's is, so but it's a great class. So I'll have Mara send out a link to everyone because it'll be a good class for all new agents to take to kind of for next year. You'll know exactly what you can do. So it's kind of the perfect time for you guys to hear what they have to say. Okay, that was a side note. Let's go to the next slide. So mindset matters in this business. We're going to discuss some realities about being a real estate agent. So this calls for a little participation. How long on average do you think it takes to get a buyer or seller to sign a contract for a sale or a listing? Does anyone have any idea?
60 days.
That is, 1 to 60 days or more, depending on how much time that you put into lead generation every day and how many. So if you start keeping track of that, it's really helpful when you go into your second year to know your conversion rates from appointments to signs to closed. That way you can plan out your business planning perfect in your going into next year. How long does it take for a transaction to close and for you to get paid?
30 days.
Yeah, 30 to 60 days, depending on your market and whether you're working with the buyer or seller. But 30 to 60 days is on average. How quickly do you want to get paid, or how long can you go without a payday? That varies by person. So it can't be stressed enough how important it is that you develop your skill in these areas so you can get paid and be successful in the business. So that's why these 6 core competencies come about. We generate every day. You're going to want to really build your database of contacts. A good way to do this is to see how many contacts you have in your phone. Most people are shocked when they have like between 300 and 800 contacts. Those can all go in your CRM, even if it's your dentist. You can put them in there. And then communicate with them. Don't just stick them in and leave them. You got to communicate with people about real estate. So market stats, what their house could be worth, all of those things. And then commit to go on a lot of appointments. Practice conversations. The more practice, the better you get. It's really a muscle. And then pretty soon you could do it in a coffee shop without even thinking about it. It'll just happen naturally. There was a quote yesterday. It said, anyone can do it, not everyone will. Will you commit to these 6 core competencies? So I'm sure you guys will. And I love this because I'll see your names in like a few months and get to celebrate your closings. And this is the best. It's the best. Okay, so mindset. Here is another quote from that book, Shift, which is a great book to read after you read the MREA. It's another book by Gary Keller and his writing team, and it is about the importance of these competencies to reaching the highest potential. So to achieve your highest potential, these 6 core competencies must be done consistently and well. So the more consistent you are, the better you do it. So the second piece just happens if you stay consistent. Do we have any ahas so far? Okay, I'm going to move on. We are going to recognize your role as a fiduciary for your clients. This is one of my favorite Things to talk about with agents, new, and some forget it as they go into the job, and you have to reel them back in with being a fiduciary. Competencies. So the 6 core competencies, are the essentials of what your job as a real estate agent entails. There are 2 ways that you can serve your clients. You can be a functionary agent or a fiduciary for your client. We learned earlier how important it is to maintain a mindset focused on being of service. So let's imagine doing business with a company. For example, we're going to talk about a car repair company that really doesn't care about your needs. They just are focused on getting that job done and getting paid. They don't build a relationship with you, or they don't stay in touch during the job or after the job. Now I want you to imagine doing business with a different car repair company, one that listens to you, anticipates your needs, helps you make decisions that are in your best interest, educates you as you go through the process, and acts like a partner in the process. They keep you updated on the status of work and even follow up with you after the job is done. What's the difference? The first company is acting as a functionary. They are doing the bare minimum that they need to do. The second company is acting like a fiduciary. Your role as a respected and successful agent should be the latter. You should be a fiduciary for your clients. It's doing the extra, going above and beyond. This is how you'll build your name, and this is why you will be referred from your future clients, handing you referrals because they loved working with you. Communication, communication, communication. So hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, we're going back one. Okay. So in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the MREA, Gary Keller explains a fiduciary is one who is a specific task relationship with their clients. They do the job. That's functionary. I'm sorry. While a fiduciary is one who not only does the tasks of the job, they are also in a high trust relationship with their clients and feel totally responsible for the outcome. This is especially important in real estate when people are making their most expensive, sometimes most important purchase of their life. Do you know why a prospective buyer or seller prefer to work with an agent who presents themselves as a fiduciary versus a functionary? And that it's because a fiduciary places their client's interest above their own. And others. They can feel that, right? As a client, you can feel that. So what exactly does that mean? It's a win-win or no deal. So if the transaction does not benefit the client, it's a no deal. Being a fiduciary is a huge deal. It's an honor. It's more important than ever in today's market to wear it as a badge of honor proudly. So helping your clients understand your fiduciary role is a big part of what you offer as an agent. That's part of your value proposition. There are many agents out there. I like to think there's none in KW, but just do the bare minimum, get paid, don't stay in contact with the person, and that they're not building a business. So let's talk about a few examples of how you can serve as your client's fiduciary during the transaction. Okay. Give me 1 second, you guys. It kind of tweaked out here for a minute. I don't know if I want to break you into groups because we're not in a big enough class. Okay, so let's just kind of do this together. We can talk about different ways how you can lead generate, capture, and convert appointments by being a fiduciary and not just functionary. Does anyone have any idea how we could do that for lead while we lead generate? And there are no wrong answers.
Well, you can explain that that you are a fiduciary and you put the client's needs ahead of your own.
Yeah. And just let them know that right out of the gate that you're here for them.
As part of your initial pitch.
Yep. I love that. Some of the ideas on here are anticipate the needs of someone in your sphere who's considering selling and buying a home, and then really make sure if you know that they're considering it, follow up with them regularly. Put a little note on your calendar. Follow up with so and so, maybe once a week, maybe more often if they are really looking to sell. And you can constantly give them market stats. Like this is where the market's shifting. Your home is up this much more. It could sell for more, and just keep them looped in. So really, you're the advisor because as someone that's looking to buy, they're not on the MLS. They're not in the NAR stats. They're not in all of that. Number 2, present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. The example they gave here is educate your clients. Really spend that time educating them because you're the professional about the home buying and selling process, walking them through what to expect. What about showings? Do you have something to say, Khadijah?
Yeah, I just had a question. So going back to number 1 with the lead generate. So there's a couple of times people that I know, my sphere of influence, who have shown interest in buying. And then I'll be like, great, let's, like I try to get them lined up with funding. And then they'll come back and they'll say, oh, I can't get a loan. And I want to move further. Like I want to, I want to dig in a little further. Like, why, why can you, I know there's a lot of programs out there for first time home buyers. And so, when you kind of get that roadblock, what do you suggest on how you would kind of move past that conversation?
So I would think this is more on the lender. So, I do know a lender, and I'll just speak from personal experience, that when clients have been passed to him, if they are a no-go, they will let them know, like, you are 2 years away from being able to purchase a home. Like you're this behind on your current home, or you're faulted a loan here, and they tell them why, and then he'll give them a roadmap. This is what you need to do to be able to buy in 2 years.
Okay.
And I feel like that's the lender should be explaining why and the how to get there. So just
Okay.
telling them don't qualify, I think is poor service. I don't think that's being a fiduciary.
Right. So maybe on our side, I could say like, oh, did they give you a roadmap to tell you what you need to do,
Yes.
blah, 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 just to investigate. And if they didn't, then do you think it would be appropriate to like hook them up with a trusted lender that I have? Okay.
Yes, definitely with that. And then I would also say, I would ask the question of what was the timeline that they gave you to when you would be able to purchase, like if you wouldn't mind sharing, and then I'd plug that in your CRM and stay on top of how's this going, or how's your credit score? Have you been able to bump it up? Are we getting closer? Type of thing, and make it exciting.
Something I did, and I wish it was an original idea, but I got it from a class a few weeks ago, and that was I applied. Tried to pre-qualify myself for a loan through one of my lenders so that I knew what it was to get pre-qualified. And I could speak from experience because, to be honest, I've never done that. And I got myself pre-qualified. And it really is something that you can do online. And it only takes, maybe on the outside half an hour. And it's something that you can walk a client through, because I experienced just what you're talking about, where I had a guy saying, well, I don't qualify. Well, how do you know you don't qualify? Have you tried to qualify? Turns out that he didn't qualify, but that's really beside the point. He actually went through the process, and now he's in that space that you were just talking about, where the lender said, okay, well, we need to do this, this, and this to get you qualified.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as a client, if an agent checked in with me throughout like my 2 years of getting my credit score up, and like they would be my agent for life if they supported me through that. And I'm not talking like you guys don't have to spend a lot of time, because time is money. You could be working with someone that's ready to buy or list, but checking in with a text and a call, just staying in contact, supporting them, being a cheerleader, I feel like they would be yours for life. So, and so would all their friends, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And all lenders are not created equal. I'm sure you guys have either heard that or known that. Kind of find out, I have agents that have 6 lenders they use because every client's different. Some say I want a male, some say I want a female, some are anti this company. So there's lots here, and there's so many different programs, and not every lender offers the same program. Some have better programs for first home, some are amazing with VA. So kind of keep that in mind as well. And they love taking new agents to coffee. So you can have
Yes, yes, they do.
you can have as many coffee dates as you want.
Yes.
Free coffees. Perfect. And just kind of fill them out. So when you are a fiduciary and you're showing buyers and marketing sellers, you can advise your seller to consider multiple offers and not just stick with the first one that comes in. You can, and then you want to have the most beneficial outcome, obviously, for your seller. So that's being the fiduciary with that. Being a fiduciary while you write and negotiate contracts would be to use sound judgment, intuition when writing and negotiating a contract to get that best result for your client. And then coordinating the sale to closing. Partner with your client who is buying a home to hire a trustworthy home inspector. So that's a way to be a fiduciary, is have those people that you trust, you've heard amazing things about, they've got great reviews, to pass on to your clients. So start kind of building that book as well. It helps. All right. So, due to the complexity of the 6 core competency, this is how you can serve as a fiduciary in this competency of business, by managing the money. It really means being responsible about how to handle your own finances. And this goes back to, would you trust someone with the biggest, highest dollar purchase in their life if you couldn't manage your own finances, if they couldn't manage their own finances? Probably not. So in addition to giving you validity, managing your own money leads to financial security, it provides you the freedom to also discern about which real estate transactions you want to become involved in or not. So by managing your money, you're not going to be desperate for every deal that comes in. You're not going to say, okay, I'm, going to drive 4 hours away 5 times to show buyers mobile homes or manufactured homes, because you have to kind of figure out your ROI on these things. So if you're responsible with your money, you can say, yeah, I don't think I'm going to take that deal. I'll pass it on to someone and get a referral and save yourself the time for people that are in town. There may be times that you choose to decline a deal just because it doesn't allow you to remain in high integrity with yourself, or you don't mesh with the person. They're kind of a client nightmare. That can be something that happens, and you just decide this isn't a good fit, and you're able to decide that because you've been responsible with your money. That's basically what they're saying here. Do you guys know what the Y4C2Ts are here? I don't know if they discussed that. Okay, it's win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. I cannot remember the E's. It's equity. I'll figure it out. I should know this by heart, you guys. But keep those in mind, and I'm gonna send them out as well, just so you have them. But it's what Keller Williams runs on. It's all of our beliefs, but it starts out with win-win or no deal. So keep that one in mind as you work all the way through with your clients from beginning to end. Any ahas so far? Or should we keep on trucking? All right. So we're going to review the success systems. In this section, you'll be introduced to your daily success system, which is part of your daily Ignite course. The success system gets you in the habit of lead generation while in the company of all of your fellow Ignite participants. So, and everyone else in the Market Center who will support you and help you in this journey. But it's going to focus on all the systems. If you follow them, you'll be successful. You've already learned that your first core competency is lead generation. And without leads, your business cannot sustain itself. So in the MREA, Gary Keller states, what you have to embrace is the fact that it is the number of qualified leads you have that will either grow your business, keep your business, or put you out of business. Nothing else about your business will have as big as an impact on it as the number of leads you have. So, why do you think cultivating leads is so essential to the success of your business? Does anyone know? It keeps things going, right? Brett, did you have something?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, basically, I was going to reiterate what you just said about keeping things going. The leads are everything.
Yeah.
And, and without them, you don't have customers. So the customer is everything.
Yes. That's how, yes, and yes. So lead generation, although lead generation and follow-up, they are the most important priorities you have when running and growing a thriving business. Sometimes these things may feel uncomfortable to do, and especially as a new agent. So feeling at ease when talking to people you know and don't know about how you can help them with their real estate needs is a skill, and it takes practice and time to develop being comfortable with it. I can guarantee you, if you're feeling uncomfortable with it, the person across from you probably isn't. It's probably in your head. But feeling at ease internally is helpful. So that comes with practice and that comes with skill. And one of the best ways to feel more comfortable communicating with potential leads, so these are like coldish leads, is by role playing and practicing the most common conversations you're going to have with your clients, potential clients, and other agents involved in your real estate transactions. It's also imperative to have an accountability system in place to support your consistency in lead generation and follow-up. But you get that with Ignite in the PC program, because Mara will check in with you like she did before this class. So it's a skill. Nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads you have. So they say that if you have a lead, it's about 90 days to close from very beginning to end. So if you start getting busy, make sure you keep lead generating. Don't take a break, because once a house sells, then you're 90 days out from your next sale. So having those the success systems in place is really helpful, just to keep yourself accountable and to make sure you're still doing that number one activity. Okay, so in the first session of Ignite, they introduced the 6 personal perspectives. So we're going to elaborate on the 6 personal perspective, be accountable. Accountability is some people love the word, some people don't. I personally love it, but accountability is a crucial part of, sorry guys, of achieving your goals. So when you report to someone else on your progress to your goals, you gain more focus and motivation. Think of accountability as a process. It is difficult to maintain drive over the long term, but when you must defend your activities to an objective observer, it becomes easier to stay focused. So accountability is about getting and implementing feedback. You must take time on a regular planned basis to meet with whoever is holding you accountable, Mara, to look at your numbers and refocus your efforts. And if you're reporting and we're like a year in and you're reporting numbers and you have a lot of conversations that the appointments aren't coming with those conversations, then you'll know exactly, because if you're tracking, you'll know where the fix is, the gap is, and that would probably be something you're saying while lead generating to get the appointment. So it's easier to pinpoint which place do I need to work on to make everything else easier. Mara will talk more about this, but you can choose an accountability partner within Ignite. There's lots of you. There's only a few of you on the call today, but there are lots. It's important that when you do choose an accountability partner, it provides a safe place to share, that you follow through with action items, you listen and pay attention while the other person shares. You make sure to set a frequency of checking in with each other. You dig deep to find out why you do the things you do. Ask the hard questions when you guys are together. Respect each other in the process. Create a commitment to stick to it. Be open to receiving the feedback, because that's all it is feedback. And make sure to give specifics. And then have each other's best interest in mind. So you can choose an accountability partner with an Ignite. I know Mara will help you guys do this a little bit down the road. I'm not going to have you choose them right now. So in your participant guide, I think it is on page 36 possibly. I don't know. Our books might be different. You'll see a list of 6 questions in the coming days. Each time you check in with your accountability partner, even if that's just yourself until you find one. Is it page 36?
2.11.
Yeah,
Totally different book than I have, Skylar.
yeah.
Okay, but you see it where it says like daily success systems at the top?
No,
No, it doesn't. Let's see. Doesn't look like that.
oh,
Yeah, next page, 2.12.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so you can see that it's easy to mark, fill out how you did, how you felt about it. Did you have any opportunity for improvement in any of those sections? What were your wins? Wins are very important as a new agent. Mindset is huge. Keep trucking. I promise you it will come. In the first session, they introduced the success system, and we provided with you this tracker that you see in your guide. And it's another method of accountability that Mara and you guys will be using during Ignite. But today we're going to focus on the first 3 activities, the 10 conversations, 10 contacts added, and 10 handwritten notes. Remember, completing these activities is important because they will help you build and nurture relationship with others. And this is purely a relationship business. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. So how does this quote, how does it apply to what we just discussed in the success systems? What do you think?
I don't think this is what Drucker said. I think that what he said was if it can be measured, it can be improved. But the same thing applies is that if you can measure something and you're only getting 5 leads out of it, well, obviously you can probably improve to 10 or 20 or 30 or whatever the number is.
Correct. Or you'll be able to see where that gap is. If there is a gap and you're having 20 conversations and you're getting 1 appointment. What am I actually saying to get the appointment? If I tweak it and then you measure that and your appointments go up, then you know exactly what's working and what's not. So I feel like, yes, exactly what you said. And since the systems are such a tall mountain to climb, it can only be really achieved if you monitor and track. That way you know where you can improve. And it's something that our top agents do. So it's been proven to be successful. So they measure their important numbers so they can improve. And then at KW, we have what's called a multi-year trend that each person will be able to pull after you've closed a few deals. You'll be able to see where your seasonality picks up. It tracks everything. How many days on market, how many buyers, how many sellers. So you have it literally is built-in metrics for you, but it doesn't track how many phone calls you made unless you're tracking that in your CRM. So conversing with your sphere. The first activity on the daily success system tracker is to engage in 10 conversations with people that you know daily. You may wonder what you should say in these conversations. A lot of people don't want to be salesy and they don't want it to be a weird interaction. So recall that at the last class, they introduced the Ford method. The Ford method is an approachable way to start a conversation with someone in your sphere of influence. So it puts the focus on the other person, yet it shows you care about the person while putting that other person at ease. So, what are questions you could ask a member of your sphere about their family? You kind of want to map these out prior to calling so you have a little bit of a cheat sheet. But you also don't want to sound like a robot. So you want to make it conversational. But questions about their family, about their occupation, about what they're doing for a hobby, recreation wise, and then about their dreams. So besides the Ford method, you can always share gratitude and appreciation with people that you know. People love to be thanked. So that is a good touch. If you don't want to go through the Ford and you just want to call and say, I appreciate you being in my corner for this or something like that, it makes it way less weird and salesy.
Mara had some really good tips where she was like, where everybody's on social media, where you can just be like, oh, I saw your trip. It was really great. That looks fabulous. Where did you go? Whatever, like just those
Yeah.
conversation starters. That's kind of what I did with my friend last night. Just texted her out of the blue and I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Because I remembered she had mentioned buying a house. So, and I hadn't talked to her in a couple weeks, or actually about a month. Anyway, so yeah, it was great. I was glad to have it because I didn't really know where I was going with it. I knew my agenda in my head,
Yes.
but I didn't know like how I was going to get to that point. And it just opened up naturally, so that was good.
It's amazing. And if you ever get stuck, questions and listen. Just ask questions and listen. And yes, doing a bit of Facebook research ahead of time before calling. Oh, I saw so and so graduated. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, what are your plans? What's his plans? And then rolling into it. So there are some best practices for Ford. It's not an interview or an interrogation. It's meant to stimulate conversation that is two-way dialogue. When you use Ford, your role is to ask a question and then listen carefully without interruption. Then make a comment and add your own thoughts and ask more probing questions just to keep it moving. Asking more questions is especially important, and they must be appropriate questions. So, for example, when a person answers an occupation question well, I got laid off and I'm on unemployment, you wouldn't jump right in and ask them a question about their recreation or, oh, I did this hike. Have you hiked to this mountain? Because that would be insensitive. So instead, you could say, oh, how can I help? I could put my ear to the ground and see if I know anyone hiring, if that works for you, stuff like that. So I know this is the piece of this class. I'm like, you guys know this. This is obvious human nature. You're not gonna say these things, but if a response from like an occupation question is, I just started a new job, you wouldn't respond back with, so what do you like doing for fun this weekend? You're gonna ask them about their job. You guys know this. If you didn't, you wouldn't be in this industry. You know how to have conversations. But it's just really working through this systematically, and you don't have to hit all points. If the conversation flows the way you want it to flow, leave R&D out. Like, you don't have to complete them. Okay, so this is the database where you put in the CRM and Command. Have you guys all been able to log into Command? Know how to do that? We know how to get our contacts in, I'm hoping. Okay.
Yeah, I was able to move I have a question, sorry.
Yeah.
So What's the actual address for command? Because I keep having to go to the email and find the email and then click on the link. And I was like, I was trying to remember the address.
Yeah, so if you've been there on your computer before, because I just start typing in command and it pulls it
It
up
comes
in the
up.
bar and I hit enter.
Okay. I mean,
I
I saved it, but I have to look.
yeah, I can always send you that an email after this with like the actual link because I don't know
Oh,
off the top of my head because my computer just automatically
oh,
brings it up.
gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have an email with the link. That's just what I go find. But I saved it now on my bar, but I was just wondering
Yeah.
if it's like a, www dot blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think it's kw.command, but don't quote me on that. The second activity on the daily success tracker is to add 10 contacts to your command database. And contacts are people who have agreed to be in a two-way relationship with you. You'll start with the people in your sphere, those that you know and who know you. So you can pull up command, and you guys said you know how to get contacts in there. The more information you have, the better on a contact. And get them in there, right? Don't not put them in there if you don't have a ton of information or all of the information. But the more information you have, the better. And that just compounds throughout your business. Khadijah, did you have another question?
No.
Okay. So when we're talking about the handwritten notes, what is the purpose, do you think, of sending handwritten notes to people? And how is that different than sending a text message, for example? Does anyone like it?
Right.
Go ahead.
Handwritten notes, I feel it's just more personal. Um, I think it takes more thought. I think it's more thoughtful. Yeah, I just think it takes more time, more thought, more energy. This year at Christmas, I sent out the most Christmas cards I ever have in my life. And I also attended a seminar, like The Power of Thank You, I think it was called. And that sparked me to start sending out random thank you cards to people. And the response that I got was always like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So it makes an impact on people.
It really, really does. Yeah, when you get a handwritten card in the mail, I don't know, it makes me feel warm and like a text is like, they could have sent out 500 of those. It just changed my name. But a handwritten note is very nice and it's memorable. They may not keep it, but they remember getting it. And it does distinguish you from other agents that are just doing mass texts. So it is that personal touch. Just think about what you could say in those handwritten notes to your sphere. You could look at their Facebook, and write something in it about what they're currently doing, or you can just write, thank you for being awesome. Loved running into you at the store. You can add in there, let me know if you know anyone that is looking to buy or sell real estate. Like that, to me, if a friend wrote that to me and someone I knew, I wouldn't feel that being salesy. I'd be like, great, this is who I'd contact if I had a friend, if I know someone looking to buy or sell. I'd love to pass them on to you. Like, it's perfect. So, definitely log in your database and get some note cards on Amazon or wherever you shop, and then just a book of stamps and try it for a little bit. And you can mark in command that you sent them a note in the note section, handwritten note on what date, loop back. You can set a loop back date so they pop up again, so then you can call them. Did you get my note? I just wanted to remind you how grateful I am to know you, stuff like that. So the card could be an entryway to a phone call to see if they got the card. Multiple touch points. Do we have any ahas about the success system? Okay. So we've come to the end for the day. And now you get to move on to lead gen or whatever you're going to do to move the needle forward in your business. Write cards. You do want to write in your participant in your participant guide how you've grown in each of these areas. And just to notate so you can keep track of your as you grow through this program. And then really taking the time to reflect on what you've learned is important in building your confidence and celebrating your growth. Do not forget to celebrate every tiny win right now. It is important. Mindset, mindset, mindset. Find a really good mindset podcast, even if you're not into that kind of thing. And I promise if it boosts you, keep listening to it for the first year. And this is all going to come together. And yeah, now you guys get to do something to move the needle in your business because I am finished. I hope that was okay. Minus the tech glitch. I'm not going to ask for feedback. But I am here in Eugene and we are a network. So if anyone has any questions, I know all of your TLs and they're all fabulous, amazing, powerful people. So Brett, did you have something?
No, no. Thanks for the class. It was great.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys are just going to dive deeper and deeper into some of this. And man, and like you fly bounds in the next few months, guys. I'm so excited to celebrate your first closings. I'll be here. I'm cheering you all on. You got this. All
Thanks,
right.
Kate.
Thank you.
Make it a powerful day, you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
You're
Bye.
so welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I actually have a question. It's not really
Yeah.
related to this class, but I
Uh-huh.
was gonna ask Mara, and since I'm here, I might as well just see
Yeah.
if
See if I know. I might not, but I'll try my best.
So my mom actually is she's looking for a house, and so I was gonna like ask if she wanted to work with me, and she lives down in like Medford, Central Point
Mhm.
area, and since
Yeah.
I'm in Roseburg, it's like an hour and a half away. So her only concern is like if she wanted to see a house, what if I was busy and I couldn't make it down in time before the house sells for her to see it?
Mhm.
I was gonna ask, like, do you know if at Keller Williams is there a system where I could like ask an agent down there to like, oh, could you show them this house today or something? Or like what would I do in this
Yes.
situation?
So there's multiple ways you could go about this. You
Okay.
could, I don't recommend this one, but this is an option. You can pick a Medford agent that you like and have heard good things about, and hand her to them, and they would take over the entire thing, and then you set your referral percentage, and you would get like 2,000-3,000 bananas for it. Okay. Um, the other thing I have seen agents do is find someone in Medford that doesn't mind showing a house, but I see agents post in like the email groups that go out to everyone that some will say there's open house here, need this filled. That I need a house shown at this time, will pay $20 to $50 to show it. If it is an emergency. It being an hour and a half away, I don't think that it would really cause a big problem for you.
Yeah.
If you're okay with driving, and since
Yeah.
it's your mom, that would be one of the two personal deals you would get because she's immediate family that
Yeah.
KW would not take a commission, wouldn't take company dollar from you.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know that.
because she is immediate family. So it's
Oh.
you, mom, dad, brother, sister. And you
Oh.
get 2 of them a year where we will not take company dollar from you. You still have to pay the 6% for the royalty for KWRI, but
Mhm.
you don't have to pay us the 30%
Oh, okay.
because it's a personal deal. You
Wow, I
just
didn't
have to
know
make
that.
sure you have to make sure that it's notated in
Okay.
command in one of the notes sections, and then it does not hurt to shoot an email to our compliance people that like Polly or Aaron West saying this is a personal deal.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And do that before you cap so then you don't, you know, you
Yeah.
get you don't have to pay us company dollar. But an
Okay.
hour and a half, I think you could easily do it. There's
Yeah.
agents that show in Florence from here all the time. So it's like 2-hour
Yeah.
drive. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the drive. I drive down there a lot, but I do
Uh-huh.
work a part-time job too. And she had an agent in the past, and she just felt like they were never seeing houses in time before they were already
Mm,
sold. So I don't know if it's because she had a bad experience, but like if I was like,
yeah.
oh, I can't drive down today because I work today, but I can drive down tomorrow or like the next day. What do you think
Mhm.
that that would be realistic, or would a house normally
I
sell?
think a day would be fine.
Okay,
Um, and I think you can always call the other agent on the other side and ask. I think that's legal. That
true.
might be a Mara question to be like, do you
Okay,
have how many offers do you have on this? They could lie and
yeah.
say we have 12, but
Uh-huh.
sometimes they'll be honest and be like, no one's really been that interested and you totally will show it tomorrow. And if an agent has a showing like a few days out, usually they'll wait to
Uh-huh.
pick an offer to see if there's an offer there.
Gotcha. So I just have to
So,
call and schedule and like talk to the agent about it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And don't say, "Oh, I'm new."
Okay. Don't tell
If
people
they,
that.
you know, and if
Okay.
they have, that's what Mara's for. She's your easy
Okay.
button. So she's on the back end to make you look really smart. So if there's a question you don't know, be like, "Oh, I have something on that. Let me go check." You can even run outside the conference room and message Mara or call Mara, and she'll
Mm.
give you the answer. Then you walk back and you're like, "Oh yeah, I found that. Okay, this is the answer."
Okay.
So pretend like you know it all. It's a fake it till you make it situation. And then
Okay.
ask all the questions tomorrow. But I think if you had access to the Medford all agent group and you just said need a house show, I need a house to be shown at 2 o'clock today. Can anyone do it? Willing to pay $30? Like agents
Mhm.
jump on that.
Gotcha.
At
Okay.
least in
Is that
Eugene.
okay? Are they Facebook groups or you said email?
You can do Facebook groups. There is, I will get it from Kayri. She is the TL down there, in
Okay.
Medford, and I will send that on to you. But what it does is it shares your email to every agent in the Medford office.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're so welcome. Congratulations. It's like a fire hose, but just keep at it, stay positive, and it'll happen.
Yay. Thank you so
You're
much.
so welcome. Bye, Abby.
Bye. Have a good day.